If they beat their rival from North America, they played against these guys time and time again, and they've really fallen short a lot of the time.
This would be such a gigantic step. The meme around XSET is that they always finish top 4, but no further. That meme is just, it's dead in the water now.
Yeah, it's done.
They're now one of our best North American representatives, and they are one map away from finishing minimum top 3 at Champions. That is a dramatic difference to the disappointing flop that we saw from XSET at Copenhagen.
Yeah,
they've taken that global experience and instantly turned it into something special.
Now we get to see the clash of styles on Pearl. Map number 3. Here on the opening pistol round at double control, the double smokes composition that OpTic are running versus the neon comp of XSET.
And remember, OpTic have won every single pistol in the series so far. 4 out of 4. And the score is still 1-1.
Yeah, it's been the thing that's got them back into the positions to be able to make those comebacks happen on the second half. Bit of information covered, and a right click, well, gifted of a slight kill. An attempt there by OpTic. They're just trying to take the space, capitalize maybe off of it, but okay.
And the chamber battle over on B long. It goes the way of Cryo.
What? Right through his kneecaps. 2 players going down there, and Cryo has just made a mockery of this approach onto B.
What a beautiful round. And now left to FNS to see what a nuisance he can be. Sneaking towards the back.
Spotted out,
cleaned up.
And
XSET take their first pistol in the series.
Exactly, Josh. The first pistol round in this series goes the way of XSET. With how close this has all been. Back and forth. I mean, expectations really out the window, I think.
But it is OpTic that have the experience at this point. You can see the stat there. They're used to having close games and close matches, but they're great in these decider maps. And part of the reason is because they have a deep map pool. So no matter where their opponent brings them, they're still in comfortable territory. I think you could say the same here. Both teams have looked really good on Pearl, but with vastly different approaches. OpTic, if anything, going for the EMEA approach with the zero duelist comp, and XSET have their own unique blend on how to approach this map.
Very different takes, I think, on how they want to be running this one. Cryo obviously taking contact here, pushed up aggressively. He's moving up past his own rendezvous, but it's a weak goodbye, obviously, for OpTic. So they're going to be taking liberties, obviously trying to find out, I think, the defensive setup a lot of the time here now.
And OpTic didn't really get too much time to demonstrate their attack rounds against Loud.
What? Okay. Right, Josh, really not a lot to really showcase at all. The right clicks are putting in some serious work so far. The 2 rounds that we've witnessed. And guns are being retrieved. That's Crashies picking up a bit of an upgrade.
And this is what OpTic were doing on their attack round against Loud, getting into such dangerous lurk positions. Here comes FNS back through Flowers.
Yeah, is this going to be watched for? The answer is yes, yet somehow Aaron ends up losing out the fight.
Deadly.
Just immense value out of the classics.
Deadly crosshair placement from FNS.
They deal with FNS now. Crashies will get the plant down. Extra money in the back pocket of his team. In fact, this round is looking potentially winnable. The knife does spot him, and this is a really risky play from Crashies.
Oh, but he's found the timing.
Oh, Cryo watches for it.
Wow.
Really patient play, and honestly, heads up.
But what a close eco round there for OpTic to almost take it away. And let's break down how it happened. They go through mid very heavily, and once they take control of R, they split into that connector. And that, to me, was the most interesting thing watching OpTic approach this map. With the zero duelist comp, they fight really heavily over mid, and once they get into mid, they try and take control of the very center connector. And at that point, they're setting up lurks on lurks on lurks. And that is something that XSET are going to have to be very cautious of.
There is tape on both of these teams on this map, so they're going to be prepped and ready for it, but you're right, OpTic's approach. Control that middle section of the map. It really is the lifeblood of the map as well.
So this from OpTic looks like they're going to be leaning over towards mid and B. They ran around like this against Loud, where they had a double lurk play, 1 through mid and 1 all the way going through A on a B plant. See whether they commit to anything similar.
Cryo can hear this utility coming his way. He's got peace of mind knowing as well that Ali is under pretty good control, and XSET do have that triple player facing the position. They're giving up control of A main.
Nobody's worried about it on either team.
No presence really being made. Marved is going to be this late lurker in middle. And now the rest of OpTic, they are creeping and crawling their way up B long. The jump peaks, I don't think coming up with anything. And look at this. Pulling back the utility. This is Cryo removing his rendezvous. And an explosion onto the site. The Haunt's going to be lighting up the two players in alley, making sure they take control of Elbow. And Marved as well. Really good discipline. Gets the kill, backs away, maybe gets a second. No, Zekken will take care of him.
Great play by Zekken. Forces the fight and shuts him down. Shuts Marv down, sorry, so that they can fully commit to the retake. Now, how do you flush out these players?
Two players in Elbow. A couple of them are weak. Looks like they're going to try and fight over this one. Victor was holding the flash, but FNS takes contact anyway. Only that takes off the heads of Cryo. Another attempt's being made, but just dodging the flash rule. Not quite connecting. Down to just Zekken. A lot of life to his name and the rifle as well. Might opt to save it into this one, but I think he just wants to do the economic damage. He knows that they are just trying to escape away with the weapons. A bit of damage, gets the bullet tag, but Victor wins it out.
And OpTic come away, ooh, without many weapons. I was gonna say with a relatively clean anti-eco, but that B long is deceptively short.
Yeah.
The spike chased them all the way up there. I don't think that's gonna have too much impact. They're on the attack side, they got the spike plant down.
Enemy remaining.
Should still be able to get a bit of a buy up.
Yeah, the money should be in an ideal place. Maybe a couple of players on the half armor.
But watch how Marved was playing there in mid-window. He's in that same position again on their attack side. And OpTic, their approach seems to be very heavily around setting up lurks, playing the map heavily, instead of going for big execs.
Which is understandable. They're playing a slower comp. There's no duelists at play, at work.
And we just saw such masterful attack IGLing on Haven from FNS.
This fight that might be about to take place. Smoke, that's pulled back and it gets Ye in this forward angle. And he has crossed, they have to expect this one.
Haunt being used to try and clear out some of this B connector, and that allows Victor to jump in, take out the trademark. Is there any response from the defense though? Not particularly.
A deep knife that's going to be used into art there, but again, patient play from the chamber players. Biding their time, waiting it out, and the spike is starting to make movement now. It looks like they want to go for this B split. Viper Wall's going to be sent straight up. 3 players now working their way around, and Cryo, wow, just playing right within range of his rendezvous. He's going to be getting back to safety, but look at this, it's a complete pivot.
Yeah, the spike is already headed the other way, and this is the value of having mid-control. OpTic are able to make these mid-round pivots, and XSET, they don't have a clue where the spike is going.
They haven't bit entirely, though, on this. They do have players lurking, waiting at the back of the site, but there's so much pressure on Aaron to try and get value now, especially when all of this explosion, the utility comes his way. Haunt into the back, has to be destroyed. Marved, he capitalizes. Jumps on the space that was created off the back of it. He's going to win out that fight against the Astra player.
And now, crazily, Ye becomes the longest lurk of all time. So far away, and OpTic's job is just to buy time for this. They're playing fully off-site.
XSET take this retake a bit more faster if they inject the pace into the round. Ye could find himself on the short end of this, but now to Nightfall, that is going to be creating so many opportunities. Ye, he could get a move on if he wanted to. There's no more sound cues. The pulling them back, a stun on top of it, and there we go. Ye's time to strike. The kill's going this way, that way. It's chaos, it's pure pandemonium. And Ye will strike. One after the other, the players of XSET fall, just not quite ready for it. And OpTic showing so many layers to their game plan on the attack.
We heard from XSET earlier in an interview where I believe it was Cryo declaring that they thought they had the best Pearl in the tournament. And I think that's a pretty reasonable point of view, to be honest. We've seen it twice. It did look excellent. It's a lovely blend that works on the attack and the defense side. But OpTic have got some great fundamental macro ideas here. More so than the tactics, just their read on how to push and pull the rotates. Most of that, presumably coming from FNS, has been marvelous in the game against Loud, and early demonstration of it there.
Prader, seconds acquired at some point during this.
So quick onto that sight line, but just misses the shoulder of Marved.
Yeah, flick of the wrist, not enough.
Given a moment. And OpTic prods towards B as a bit of a feint right now. They've left the trademark. This round was clearly supposed to end A. just trying to add a layer of deception into it.
And honestly, that prior conditioning, all the emphasis being placed by OpTic into mid on our attack side rounds means that, look at this, A main is wide open.
And this could lead to FNS getting down a very clean Viper's Pit on the site. The ults here combo up beautifully.
Yeah, and now with the swing through, the operator, second just not quite catching it onto the mark that he was looking for. Now they're going to start to barrel through. OpTic want to try and get this plant down clean, but it's a tap to try and bait the swings. And bait they will. Right through the wall, being watched for. Making sure the angles are there.
And not even requiring the investment of the Viper's Pit. OpTic reading what that defensive play would be. And dealing with it. Zekin's just getting out of there. Wants to save the operator.
It will keep this one going. Okay. Dangerous. Trademark at his heels. Get out of there.
This is not going to offer any opportunities.
So his goal, just trying to save that operator, running rings around and laps around the map.
But what another lovely round by OpTic.
It is magical.
They press a little bit of attention over towards B, and XSET are worried about mid. Meanwhile, OpTic just slide their way into A.
Easy peasy for him. Ryan has money to burn here.
You can see that XSET had some ideas of what they wanted to do on the defense side. Yeah. You know, XSET were throwing out a haunt that lit up a lot of people. They were a bit unfortunate not to get a pick off the back of that. And then also, you know, Zekin trying to use his conks through the Cosmic Divide, but just not quite aware of where the angles are played. Probably just because it's a new map.
Yeah.
But XSET with rifles in hand as we head into round 6.
This is the important one.
There.
Tef even with his own null command as well, but how does this round end up being played out? Spike could be waiting for the time being. OpTic are quick to take this A main control. It's a horn as well to just layer it all in. They are putting such a heavy emphasis into this one, but a reminder, the Spike nowhere near them. All this presence, I think, is just to try and push and pull these rotations.
Yeah, this is a weird round because XSET didn't bite whatsoever, just playing for mid control.
Reach for mid! FNS, he does fall. Swing attempt from Victor.
That's pretty beautiful. And the chamber battle goes the way of Ye over on B long.
Yeah, so B theoretically now should be open for them. Normally they've just got Cryo holding that deeper angle.
But they won't have FNS's Viper Wall to work off. So this is still going to be a little bit of a struggle. And Marv on the lurk. This time, Arin catches it. Nice to see Arin already adapting to the way that OpTic want to play the lurks.
OpTic with no Viper Wall. OpTic to just contact their way into the site, make sure that they not only start now making the noise cues, but work their way into the site. The spike is going to be planted per second, he's already in. One shot to the head, that's Victor dealt with, but somehow the fragment gets some pretty tremendous value of BCJ falling. Still that 2v2 though, they have to deal with the elbow control. Ye sets himself up into this angle. Fast lane. Cross now, the overdrive, and now a bit of a stun sent flying. He's got over his head, and Ye, while he strikes, the backstab in play, and crashes. He finds the target that he was hunting for there. Arin just none the wiser.
That's an absurd situation. I mean, if Zekin is able to get the stun onto Ye, or at least know where he is, or, I mean, the stun does connect, but if he's able to just glance down, I think this round probably goes the way of XSET.
But such intelligent play by Ye though, in the blind spot.
Yes, instantly tucking himself under. And OpTic's game plan is working here. XSET are now going to go for some A aggression. Second leading the charge again on the light buy with the only rifle that XSET have claimed. He pokes in, nobody's seen. All right, time to pivot. XSET are already on the rotate, trying to gamble here.
Yeah. It would be a correct gamble if they can get to B in time. Smoke was propped up. Knockman though cutting across. Arin is holding a very close angle here with the Viper's Pit down. Do they want to try and play fast inside of it? It's just waiting a timeout, Marved! Right from just making sure the late lurks get incredible value. Love the way that OpTic are playing this as well. It's so cautious in their approach. They laid down the Viper's Pit, but nobody was playing inside of it because they're so aware of how to play into this one. No casualties, prime gaming flawless, all the guns carried forwards into the next round.
And it feels like every time we start a map, Brent, one team is going on a 5, 6, 7 round win streak. What a beautiful play there, by the way, from OpTic. And I've been talking about the lurk plays the entire time. It's clear when you watch the VODs that that's how OpTic want to set this up. But Marv manages to get a peek there as the trademark goes down and just sets up the most gorgeous timing. You saw Aaron be able to actually collect the lurk play on A one of the rounds, but every other time it's found value.
How do you deal with it all the other times? I mean, this is where Marv is in his comfort as well.
Oh,
He's able to make those deep lurk plays as a controller player. And, you know, they're running double smokes here. It's not as risky if he gets dealt with. They still have some utility to be able to get onto the sites with FNS playing the Viper. It's not like you're putting all of the emphasis on keeping your controller player alive. Marv is given a lot of free reign to just take whatever timings he wants, and he's intelligent with it.
XSET have got to find the solution here. They take the timeout after 5 rounds lost in a row. And it feels like the defensive aggression can't really catch anybody because OpTic are not going early round into vulnerable positions. But by the time OpTic commit somewhere, there are so many lurk plays elsewhere that if you try to meet them head on and flood rotate, you're just leaving yourself open to the lurks. So at this point, I think the answer is pretty difficult for XSET to grasp hold of. It may well involve playing much more heavily over mid control, but that means you're playing retake with this comp. And how comfortable are XSET on that? Tough to know.
It's been hard for them. Cryo now with the operator. Nice stuns to set that one up, slow down a bit of the presence that OpTic are showing in mid. But it's a similar game plan from what we've seen from them in the past. Just make sure that you poke and prod and drag the bodies, the defensive protocol. You're just trying to basically upset what XSET are running. Prowler in the face, that has to be respect shown. And of course the rendezvous to safety. And they have taken alley control. OpTic, bit of a triple face right into the line of sight of it though. It's just going to be that 1-for-1.
And Zekken, did he hear them rotate out there? In the midst of all of this, Ye is taking space on the opposite side of the map. Does Cryo
seems aware.
Pay attention to it? And he
has found. Yeah, you just unscoped at just the wrong moment for it.
And the chamber play for XSET has found all the value in this round. Def as well, finding the timing to pop off his null command. And this feels like everything here. Yeah. They've even read the lurk plays. If there was a lurk happening on the other side of the map, Zekken's position in mid would be perfect to deal with it. And BCJ's still watching for anything crazy happening on A.
Zekken can hear the footsteps running of Marv. He can hear them just barreling their way through.
Left.
And he only hears one, so he looks for the second player first.
Timing is everything.
Before following Marv.
Listen, it's all about the timing. FNS, he sees the mark, he calls it to Marv. Marv knows now he can pincer him. And Zekken gets dealt with. Rotations are being made though, and XSET, they do have bodies here to shut this one down across fire. It's a whiffage, but Def eventually cleans up the mistakes, and with only 7 seconds remaining, FNS has to get this spike down. He has to plant it. A tap to force the fight, and you just have to stick it there. You're not playing to your outs.
Not in the slightest. So OpTic let one slip away that could have been recovered. It would have been, it would have taken something spectacular to recover it. But it was within the realm of possibility, and OpTic have let that one drift away from them. An opportunity missed, perhaps. But on the other side of things, gotta give credit to XSET's adaptation there. They had a nice play pushing Cryo into an area of the map where he could have more impact, as in mid, playing around double doors. They caught Ye, who was trying to take space on B, and then they got aggressive with Zekken in the mid round. All very good adaptations coming out of the timeout. And starting out here again with a very spread default from OpTic, stuff that we've seen before from them. Viper wall goes up, Prowler towards B, trying to pull anybody away from that area of the map as they instantly take the spike towards mid and A.
If the name of the game is to try and punish a lot of these deep lurks. Right now, not too much presence being shown by XSET in mid, just making sure that they hold Ali and Art ever so slightly.
Yeah, the trademark being used on B here as well, so that they can stack players more towards mid and A on the defense. But that also leaves B link open.
Oh,
Cryo.
He saw the gun and a jiggle. Yeah, not going to be enough to try and offset that one. Still, Ye has opened things up on the other side of things.
It's all on Aaron here.
Another split attempt to try and come through. Ye finds the target, finds the timing. Pure, intelligent play from him. But a Nightfall will scatter them to the wind now and pushes back OpTic once more. They don't have space being gained by a lurk player this time. What's the play? Has to be to try and cut noise and re-hit, but with Marv being dealt with, it feels a little bit unorthodox, I think, their approach to this attack side round. All the players are lurking in mid. There's 25 seconds left.
And BCJ's got the read here. Yeah, he was thinking about going for it.
He's backing away now.
Cryo being alive as well is just giving them constant information on the trademark. There's no time for this.
Left. Dev could just stop this in his tracks, and he hears them running. Fragment nade stops them down in their tracks. Has to be the plan now. FNS off to the side, and a bit of spam will do the job. And no more time on the clock for them. You have to force the fights, but OpTic have been bamboozled.
And it's another really good round from XSET with their adaptations. Gotta say, Cryo again, finding another area where he can have impact. And you might say, oh, well, it's just lucky that he's playing on A and they happen to go towards him, but the Prowler used earlier on gave him the information to stay posted on A and gave him that first kill. He comes back, collects Marved, and meanwhile, the trademark positioning is still allowing Def to just hold on to B on his own.
Yeah.
I love how they've changed this defensive setup. And now Chet gets an opportunity to respond.
There have been so many back and forths, the mind games between both of these teams.
So deep. On such a new map as well, Brent. That, to me, is the biggest one. This map has not been out for very long. Yeah, neither of these teams came through LCQ, so they've had a little time to work on it. But the level of detail from all teams in this tournament, from Paper Rex, who went out in groups, and a lot of others, has been pretty beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it's been magnificent, I think. Seeing all the different ideas come together as well from teams, their approach to the map, how they want to see it to be played.
But for OpTic here, they now have to try and figure out what's going on. How is XSET getting Cryo in the perfect position every time? Is it because the Prowlers are getting too much value? Is it because the trademark? Do we need to apply more pressure onto B rather than just a single Prowler at the beginning? All of these questions will be going through FNS and Chet's head. And they've come up with some kind of solution. Let's see what the adaptation is.
I imagine it's going to be cautious once more off the rip.
Well, look at the read from XSET, actually. Putting Cryo and Zekken over on B indicates that they've got a hard read that OpTic might head that way.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're just going to be using this stun. We do have another pause as well in the round, so work out what that's for in just a moment. But we can talk about the setups, at least where these players are leaning. I wonder if they just want to use the early stun to try and set them up.
Yeah, very possible.
Put Cryo on that deeper angle.
The problem with Cryo being on the deep angle is that about 8 or 9 rounds out of 10, OpTic have been faking B-long pressure, and then retreating. And if they do play B-long, it's in the late round. Not even the mid-round, the late round. So having Cryo up on a deep B-long position, while it does theoretically give you a lot of info, it also means that one of your best players is out of the fight for, you know, 3/4 of the round.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like the best way of utilizing that strong fragging power that Cryo can give you.
While we have all the information as well to work off of here, I want to point your eyes. You can't quite see it, but we can. It's the Astras using their ultimates as well. The Cosmic Divides are online for both of these teams. Last time OpTic had that, ended up a pretty successful A hit by pulling the rotations. I wonder if they want to go for that again.
Just that shot of Zekken juggling and Don shouting in the background. Sums up XSET, I think. They looked frozen and a little nervous when they played at Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And that wasn't in front of a big crowd. You know, that was just the beginning of playoffs. Playing against a comfortable opponent in OpTic, and then Leviathan, where things got scrappy, and they fell to pieces. There's no way of putting sugar on it. They fell to pieces at Copenhagen.
But this time around,
they look relaxed. They look confident in terms of playing with the crowd and having fun in these spots. Just a demonstration of how much the experience can help. And OpTic certainly know that.
Yeah, these guys look primed, ready and waiting. BCJ, this guy. Sunglasses on. Back and forth. Don's trying to rile up the crowd as well. Get a bit of an XSET chant going.
But for all of these players, a pause like this comes at such a frustrating time.
Yeah.
You're just starting to get into the flow of the game. You're trying to get a read on how your opponents are playing. And remember that whichever team comes out the other end of this is going to be facing Loud. Psycho.
Trying to bait the crowd. Trying to bait the interactions out of them and nod of the head, but times like this, the player's just forced to simmer. Chet, I mean, you think he's just working the office, you know, just trying to get his 2 hours of work done before he pretends to work. Just leaning back, it's loving life.
I mean, at some point here, you know, as a coach, your job is to just kind of let the IGLs adapt on the fly.
Yeah.
You have your timeouts where you can get input, but a lot of the rest of the time, you're just going to be trusting that that FNS can get it.
This is a matchup as well that a lot of people, I think, have been looking forward to, at least to a degree, you know, having a bit of a matchup in the upper bracket between the North American teams on either side.
Absolutely. And remember, whoever wins this game is going to go on to play Loud in the upper bracket final. I mean, if OpTic get through this after having some momentous comebacks in the series to get there, it'll just feel like Masters Reykjavik all over again. I mean, the parallels will be crazy. And then on the other side of stuff, if XSET were able to make an upper bracket final after sliding out of playoffs instantly.
Trials and tribulations.
Yeah, just the difference in these two teams' journeys over the course of 2022 could not be more heavily stated.
Sure.
They have such a contrast despite being from the same region.
Massive milestone if XSET were able to take the series.
And think about if XSET were able to win here. They'd just be giant slayers, going through the tournament, taking down the winner of Masters Copenhagen. Now, if they're able to win on Pearl, taking down the winner of Masters Reykjavik. Having already claimed Fnatic's scalp in the quarterfinals and looking towards Louds, no one could possibly say that XSET's journey through champs has been or will be easy. Not by a long shot. But that's what makes this Champions the best of the best. And when the pressure is on, do you crumble or does it turn you into a diamond? It feels like XSET are starting to get some of that latter into their game, starting to build that out, that development where they can perform under some pressure.
They got the experience from Copenhagen. That's under their belts, looking to try and make a mark now at the biggest stage of the year, Champions 2022. And we got the tech issue resolved. Looks like we're going to be heading back into the fight, back into the action here. XSET versus OpTic momentarily. Small break as well for the teams to just simmer, think about what's been happening so far. So right, back into it. Map number 3 here. XSET and OpTic fighting for that minimum 3rd place spot. Chance to face off against Loud, deeper in the bracket.
And you're right, Bren, it was just that concussion blast early to set Cryo up on the angle. They used a 0 point as well from Def and didn't see anything. So 3 players are going to move over to A.
They've completely given up mid.
This middle area of the map, OpTic use it so well. Because most teams will just use it to rotate between A and B. But for OpTic, they'll push deep into your own spawn and look at them go.
Yeah, this is just a massive gulf, a lack of information. Zekken was forced to jump peek that just to see what his players are, but it could be anywhere by now.
And now Def is stuck in spawn just watching this little cubby hole.
He has to watch this angle.
Because otherwise, if anyone slips through it, it's a disaster for the defense.
And either side just watching for the right moment. It's Ye who takes first contact. Cosmic Divide cuts its way across, and FNS, how has he found his timing?
Def got pulled into the site.
Right in between them, and he takes out Zekken.
The way that OpTic work the map is just sublime.
Just down to Cryo. Spike planted, post-plant positioning. Cryo wants nothing to do with it.
And Bren, you just simply cannot give OpTic the middle of the map on
You
Pearl.
can't give them that space.
You can't, because they work magic with the middle of the map like nobody else. Just that small moment sums up a lot of the game plan from OpTic. They get the middle of the map. You could see FNS thinking about what timing to take, and he waits until there's a pick on A, and Def is forced to come and help.
Yeah.
And as soon as Def is forced to come and help, FNS has got it, the map in his mind of where everyone's going to be, and just slinks on through.
And it seems like it is a heavy emphasis for OpTic to try and land their way on the A side. Whenever they got the Cosmic Divide to make their mark, Cryo will make it just that bit more expensive, but there is money in the bank of OpTic for them to take risks.
It's a consolation prize, isn't it? XSET had some really nice adaptations to stop OpTic, what they were doing, but FNS and Chet have instantly responded. And when Ye is able to give you these kind of openings, whoa, it really can be the first breath of air that knocks down the house of cards.
Yeah.
XSET now
take a
taking
time out. Okay.
Wow. just so much going into the mind games here. His team's forced to take every spare moment they can to try and get every round they can on the board. There are only 2 left.
The second timeout, I believe, now being used for XSET in the first half of this map.
Yep.
So much emphasis being placed in these final 2 rounds.
But also one of the most even first halves, that we've seen so far in the series.
Between both of these teams.
I thought OpTic would run away with it, and they still might. We still might see an 8-4 half here, but XSET trying to do their best to ensure that that's not going to happen. And Brent, I think the adaptation I liked the most from XSET was when Cryo was playing around mid.
Yeah.
Or at least when Cryo was playing with his initiators. The plan of having Cryo play B is just not working. He's not able to get active enough in the rounds.
It was better when Cryo was just hunting for the late lurk. That's how OpTic have typically been playing it, but OpTic now, I think they can smell the blood in the water. This is their opportunity to gain a pretty sizable lead on the first half.
And the prior round, round 10, all of that distraction we were talking about and the way they work the map, part of it only works because Ye's able to get the opening kill.
Yeah.
And Brent, that was Ye's 50th opening kill of the tournament.
Oh my God.
And he's only died first 14 times. He's 50 and 14 in first kills to first death.
I don't know if a performance like this will ever be matched in a tournament again.
Yeah.
Being able to find a consistency in his first kills to first deaths. The guy is just, every duel he takes, he's coming out on top.
Yeah, it's just absolutely absurd what Ye's been able to put up. And Brent, he hasn't even really been dominating the game in the same way that he has in their other series. It's a lot of it's come down to the game plan.
Yeah. Now another tech pause.
Yeah,
So if you wanted to simmer, this is the time for it.
It certainly is. Aaron even getting up to have a little chat with what's going on here.
Just seeing what's happening. But you can hear the XSET chants.
Yep.
Aaron just looking like the standing man emoji. Just I don't know. Still up at his PC, trying to get to the bottom of a lot of these issues.
Exactly. And we're going to have to swap a PC out here as well. That's what the tech pause is. So something a little more significant that is going to take a little bit of time. Yeah. So we're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be back with the completion of Pearl in just a few short minutes.
Ye would clap Shroud, no doubt in my mind. Hey guys, Crashy's here from OpTic Gaming, and I'm on the spot in Copenhagen.
To dress the site. First fight found for Crashies. Quick turn, didn't note anyone towards double doors. Yay! No way! Marked as well!
The teammate most likely to get lost in Copenhagen would probably be Victor, for sure. He would definitely get lost. Most likely to overheat, Marv. Marv is an overheater. He's just saucy. When he's saucing, he just gets a little too saucy sometimes. Yep, too saucy.
Most likely to trash talk on stage.
Oh yeah, FNS is the biggest trash talker on our team for sure. Even on stage, FNS is, even today in our XSET series, he was yelling at them, and that's his thing, and it gets him fired up.
One HP. Finesse on the other side, and no. Second! Kill me, bro! How are you missing that? Yeah. Hello? You're 14! How are you missing that? 7-0 in rematches. OpTic don't lose these, man. They just don't.
Most likely to get matching tattoos.
Me and Victor would get matching tattoos for sure. The duo together would be a cool tattoo. Most likely to take an ego challenge. Either me or Ye. Yeah, me or Ye would take an ego challenge.
Most likely to clap Shroud.
Clap Shroud. Ye for sure. Ye would clap Shroud, no doubt in my mind. Most likely to get tilted would maybe be me or FNS.
You've still got Crashies. 2 nice kills out from him to try to keep back the push on A. And he gets info to the third. As the fourth thought, I thought it was going to be there, and he does. He gets it through the shock dart.
Teammate most likely to be the center of attention would probably be Marv. He just starts dancing and just doing his thing. He's from Toronto, so he's a Toronto man. You know how they do it over there.
How do the Toronto men do it?
They just go crazy. They dance and do their thing. I don't know. Unique, very unique. Most likely to spend money on drip would be me, Marv, Victor, FNS. Yeah, the whole team almost. Most likely to sing in the shower, we'll throw FNS in there. He sounds like a singing man to me. Singing Ed Sheeran for sure. For sure. For sure. Most likely to spend money on gun skins would be Ye. I think he already has every skin in the game, so.
Still being a nuisance. 2 up towards the rafters and Aspas trying to clear through, but you can see the nuisance this man is, and Ye won't stop.
Most likely to glass cannon and Odin, that'd be me. That is me.
Planted.
Most likely to lose their OpTic chain. This is a good one. I'd go with Victor again. I don't know how he would lose it, but he would just somehow it would come off his neck and he wouldn't know where it ended up. So I'd go with Victor. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting OpTic as well. We'll keep doing our best to bring you guys the dubs, and thank you for hanging around and answering the questions with us.
Crashes though would look and love to try and turn this one. Oh, what a reset.
That is absolutely fabulous from Crashies.
He's found it for his team, finally the round that they needed.
It's been an absolute slug match here between these two NA Giants, and I'm on the edge of my seat personally right now, Achilles, just waiting to see what's going to happen.
I am on the edge of my seat waiting to get back into the game so I can see what happens now.
Tech pauses, they're just like us.
It's just a thing that happens from time to time. I know, Brent and Sacha, they've had plenty of experience going through tech pauses. I myself have gone through many a tech pause in my day, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can get things taken care of pretty soon and get back into the game.
Yeah, but what we've seen thus far has been really fantastic from both these teams. I think we kind of came in hyping this matchup as being two of the best teams at implementing Pearl into their map pool in a head-to-head. And I have largely been impressed with what OpTic has been showing thus far. The way that they're controlling this map and lurking has been incredible. And in particular, what Marv has been able to pull off has been really amazing.
Yeah, we're still seeing some really tight performances between the two smokes, the two controllers right now. It's Aaron versus Marv. And, it's just a steady back and forth between the two. But Marv has had some monstrous moments so far in this map with the Astra.
Sorry, would you say some marvelous moments?
No.
I would not have.
Personally, I would never say that. But what I would say is that Marv has been a pretty good player. I don't know what that segue is. It doesn't work super well, but this guy has been looking absolutely sublime on this map thus far. I think when he plays the Astra, it's just such a comfortable role. Even when you look back to Ascent, he was having a big step up there. Anchoring on this role for him is great, and lurking as well, because he's enabled to play slower, play the map, while still being able to have that global utilities to support his team.
Yeah, it's just been really, really strong, but this is still such a tight fight between these two squads. It's difficult to say who is going to be able to take this at the end of it all, and we just kind of have to wait and see how everything plays out, because it has been this back and forth. But OpTic, they've been engineering some neat stuff, but Ye also, finding an early kill, and that kind of just leads to things kind of spiraling out of control for XSET. That's a bit lucky, but I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this all plays out, because XSET now, as we get ready to come out of this, they've already burned both of their timeouts. So they'll get a little bit of extra time during the halftime break to discuss and go over strategy, but outside of that, it's out of their control.
Yeah, I think one thing that has been really cool with this series, though, is there's no Fnatic to root for. There's no EMEA team at all to root for here. So the crowd has just been back and forth, and really feels like they're just cheering for both these squads.
Yeah, actually, in the first two maps, we had a lot of OpTic chance here, but as we've progressed into this third map, during the break, we actually had a lot of XSET chance going on, and during one of the earlier technical pauses as well. So now the crowd's kind of going both ways. We don't really know who's rooting for who. But to your point earlier, both teams seem to kind of feed off being the villain a little bit and not having the crowd support. So now that they have the crowd support, is that advantageous or not advantageous? How does that affect the mental,
Yeah, which team can kind of run the bigger heel strategy here, just be the bad guy for the crowd? But I don't know. I honestly, I think that they are just both just hyper-focusing on the game right now. Obviously, the coaches are kind of chilling and whatnot and trying to big up the crowd and, get some boos out even for the side of XSET. But I think that the players themselves in this moment, it's so tight-knit. You're playing for a spot in the upper final to face Loud, make your way into that top 3. I think that they're just focusing on the game and they're trying to drown out the audience as much as possible.
Yeah, I think what makes it tough about these tech pods is just keeping your energy up, particularly when, what time is it? It's like 11 p.m. here in Turkey. All these teams have already been playing for like 2.5 hours. They have been grinding it out. So keeping up your peak form, your peak focus while you have that pause can be really difficult. So it's just a matter of, well, the coaches, I don't believe, can talk right now. They can talk with each other, keep each other entertained, keep each other hyped up, and just be able to just get back into things once this pause ends.
Well, while we're still in this pause, we actually are going to take a quick moment to get to know one of our players. Bala sat down with BCJ, so let's find out a little bit more about him.
Yo, what's up? I'm here. Oh, okay. All right. Where am I going then? All right, bet. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit. All right, bro. Thanks for showing me a little slice of Brooklyn.
Yeah, taco truck is definitely one of my favorite things in New York because you can always pass by and get however many you want. Yeah.
Well, it feels like I haven't seen you in a minute, but actually it has only been 3 weeks since we saw each other in Copenhagen. Let's talk a little bit about the year so far because you've gone through a crazy transformation, I feel like. Playing Raze, Neon, Jet, right? Throw Yoru in there too at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like, why did you go through it and what are the strengths and how has it gone so far?
So at the time, Chamber was really strong.
Yeah.
So we decided to move Jake or Ye to Chamber because it was just too good not to have.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all know. we all know why.
He's feeling it. Flash goes in. Spots one. Gets one. Yay!
So we shifted me to duelist to let him play Chamber. That's one, and then two was that he felt like I was the best entry frag on the team.
Yeah.
Which means I was the best at just creating as much space as possible for the team, so they could just run in behind me, and either if I don't kill them, then they will.
It's a pretty good vote of confidence if Ye is calling you the best entry fragger on the team.
That was Victor, not BCJ. That was debated. Either way, I had a great time. I think if there's one thing that can tie us all together here, it's snacks.
I was going to say tacos.
And tacos. Well, tacos are almost a snack.
I thought you said stacks at first, and I think maybe that can tie Seth together with the rest
Did
of
you
the
guys
world.
switch places? Because I think that sounds like a Seth thing.
My mind is stuck on DRX, but I mean that video and overall the like natural series. This is the second time they've done it. They did it for Last Champions as well.
Yeah.
Really cool. There was a piece on BCJ done about him. I forget who it was for 100 Thieves. I think it was on Baby Bay sitting down with Derek as well. All of them are really insightful into the players as individuals and with the team, and the rest of the Victor one is pretty solid as well. well.
You can learn a lot about a player from their taco order. Yeah, and also how well they can swish into a trash can.
Apparently pretty bad.
With an audience.
Maybe that would improve Victor's gameplay if he got better at the...
Maybe a little more hand-eye coordination there.
He needed the audience to be telling him how bad he is and to be booing him in the process, and then he would be able to nail the shot the first try.
All right.
Basically all it was.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with another computer up and running. Do not go anywhere. We're going to finish this match off in just a little bit.
Welcome back from the break, and yeah, we're going to be jumping into this one momentarily. Map 3 in this battle between XSET and OpTic, an age-old classic in North America in terms of the rivalry between these teams, and it could not be closer. We're jumping right back into it now. Round 11 of the first half, and 4-6 of the scoreline. XSET just taking that timeout. Believe me, they've had a lot of time to think.
They've had so much time to try and grab these final 2 rounds, and this could be the difference. This is the battle for who's on top in North America, but who makes that upper bracket final, the minimum top 3, and XSET have struggled so far on their defensive side. OpTic looking to make some serious, real pressure towards the B side. This is almost always a fake, and the trademark is going to let them know this time it's real.
Yeah, there's actually some bite behind this one, all the utility that was being used that way, but they have slowed this one down in time enough to potentially bait rotations. But look, XSET, they're cautious about it. They've been expecting so many lurks. It's happened almost every single round up until this point.
But there's no one there. Crashies has the spike right now. If Crashies does get it down, he'll have Nightfall available.
Horns over the top. Has to be dealt with there. Prowler sent straight through. A bit of spam as well. Victor is so low, but elbow control needs to be taken. And second, no choice but to hold down Mouse 1, try and spray him down. Now a Nightfall on top of it. OpTic, you do not want to let XSET set up for this fast retake.
Not killing Victor there has double the problems too, because he's just popped no command. Got it online with the kill on Zeka.
And look at how worried they are of these lurks. Watching Ali, watching behind them.
The crazy conditioning from OpTic.
Yeah, and XSET just kept guessing, wondering. But now they're going to be striking. Cosmic Divide is going to be layering it this down. It's going to be passing the site a little bit for them to be able to take this.
What a play!
Forwards! BCJ, what a play! But still down to that 2v2. And Marv inside, outside, his own smoke and the wall. That's going to seal the deal with that round. 7th on the board for OpTic.
Last round in the half.
And this really has been a map from Marv. 3 kills in the round, goes up to the top of the scoreboard for OpTic. And he's had a very quiet tournament so far. We haven't really talked much about, you know, Marv and whether or not he's been up there with the best players in the world, etc. That's normally a narrative for every one of OpTic's tournaments. Yeah. He's actually been quite quiet. This is his first great map where he's taken control completely over the attack side.
And that prior conditioning. We're talking about it, XSET were just waiting around, holding for just phantoms, people who would never really show up.
They were quivering.
Just trying to hold for those late lurks. And OpTic, well, okay, why not? Another fast play coming over towards the B side of the map. And again, nobody lurking, only this time XSET have taken the initiative in mid. All that space going to be gained. They are holding for a late lurk, and Cryo could be the difference maker. Inside the smoke, waiting it out.
So tough for him, though. People can get into the smoke from any direction. And he's just inside this
Up to
play.
the side, pop flash play, Victor. Blinded himself more than the opposition, yet still comes up with the kill, still with the goods, and now it's down to Aaron. Plant online, has to prioritize the control of the objective. Whips out the pistol. Aaron, you can't be getting away with that, son. But it's not over yet. Prowler going to be sent flying through. Def is going to get the Resurrect online, but now they are swinging for it. The punishment, not quite there. Victor wanted to make the play. Sidestepping it, sees connects. Yado putting in so much work. The Tether points the angle in an instantaneous trade and play.
Yay finding 3. And the back-to-back B hits after the timeout working perfectly for OpTic. They are deep in the minds of the XSET players. and they've utterly controlled this half. It's another one-sided one.
Another one-sided one, a tale of, honestly, the last two maps that we witnessed. So send it down to the desk to break down the first half.
All right, and we are back at the half after just a couple of quick rounds, but already OpTic are looking pretty dominant again.
Yeah, they managed to really right the ship here. It seemed like XSET was going to have a road back in forever ago at this point, but Envy, jeez. Wow, my brain.
That's some ancient history.
Yeah, I'm digging up the old stuff. OpTic have now a very significant lead. Crashies, BCJ, these guys both piloting the phase, but Crashies just coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, the stats haven't been particularly impeccable for either of them, but I think Crashies has had consistency in the support in getting that mid control that's been such a priority for this OpTic attacking side, and also winning out in a few of those crucial late rounds. We just saw there after the tech pause, one of those clutches where Crashies is closing things out at the very end. He's never going to be the craziest individual performer, but he provides consistency on the initiator.
Yeah. It's been great. I mean, you see those 9 assists that he has. He's just been able to really utilize his utility just a little bit better than BCJ. But now as they get ready to swap over onto the attacking side, we'll see if it can be a different story for XSET.
Yeah, that we will. And I think the biggest question here is how do they play this comp on the attacking side? Can they continue with the same win conditions? Previously, they've been very heavy on these XSETs. Big set pieces, Zekken playing on that Neon, and it's been really effective for them. But OpTic is looking dominant right now. They've had such a good understanding of how to play this map, and for XSET, the pressure is on. You've pushed so hard to get to this point, to maybe be able to finally defeat OpTic at an international tournament, to find yourself in the top 3, to make a name for yourself as we look to close out this tournament. It's going to take something big if they even want a chance at it.
That it will.
And OpTic are fighting for that third and final top 3 of all international tournaments this year. But we are ready to get back into the second half. Can XSET turn it around, or are OpTic going to continue their reign of terror? Take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, back into the action. And this is such a huge test now for XSET. One of the biggest milestones that they've ever faced right in front of them now. Can they battle back just the way that OpTic have been doing over the last 2 maps that they've played?
Can XSET take down the uncrowned kings of North America? Grouped up over towards A on the pistol here. And XSET were able to take the pistol round for the first time on Pearl in the series. Another one would certainly start this comeback going, but OpTic look like they're set up for this. Are they just contacting all the way
all the way into the sidelines and crashes at the back? But listen, he throws out the haunt, expecting no one to be near him.
Wow.
And XSET capitalized. They swarmed the site.
What a pistol round. That is beautiful. And such an anti-strat.
Yeah. Really ready for Crashies, just holding that one angle down. But his pistol round is not over yet. Takar making their way in, weaving their way in. Nobody's watching for this. FNS has somehow lurked and found that timing and found that kill. But a BCJ, there was no trade instantaneously there. There has to be a pull. They're trying to block it, but it pulls it right into the line of sight of BCJ.
Being able to take down Marv there is pivotal. Yay, comes around the corner. Headhunter, 4 bullets available.
A faster play has to be made, but a bit of run and gun is the play. And a pistol round gain for XSET, what they needed to stand a chance of the comeback being enacted on this side of the map.
These pistols have just been absurd. 4 going to OpTic in the beginning 2 maps, and then both in the hands of XSET. It just feels like the team that's behind always is able to grab a pistol and make a comeback possible. This now, if XSET are able to convert round 14, puts them within 2 and makes it essentially an even game again. And I want to point out this defensive setup from OpTic. They've been playing in the game against Loud almost every defensive round. They had both Ye and Marv playing on B. Ye was not active, not rotating around the map. He was just letting the play come to him. And that to me indicates that XSET have openings that they can go for. They can just dodge Ye on this map if they want to, and keep hammering sight hits into A, where FNS is mostly solo anchoring.
Against the Eco, not opting to avoid the common position that he is playing. Take the fight to him. Ye, make sure he hugs the pillar close. Doesn't want to reveal himself, but now he takes the timing. And he's rewarded with a kill, in fact. There is a trade at play, but it's value at the end of the day when you're playing with just the headhunter bullets. Top flash there from OpTic. They don't want to be giving up this site, and there's a pull to disrupt this one. No elbow control, and now a slide and a dash all the way in. XSET definitely taking names and making sure that they take all the space on the site.
And this B site hit is what XSET love to do with the Neon, and that's why I think noting where Ye is playing on the map is so important, because if XSET want to get value out of that Neon fast lane into a slide towards elbow, they're going to have to go through Ye repeatedly to do it. And that's a dangerous player to have to battle every round. But also, you could see that OpTic had an idea of how to deal with it. As the fast lane went up, there's a suck towards the back, it stops Second from getting in there, and he saves the slide for after that gravity well disappears. Clearly,
cut up that crosshair placement.
Clearly prep on both sides here. And once more, Ye is going to be playing on the B side of the map, but this time FNS also over there.
They don't break the knife though, Josh. OpTic are going to get full information. I think that tagged onto multiple targets.
And this is an extremely fast flank coming out from Marv.
Because they know. They have a lot of info with the knife tagging all of them, that they can take all this space. Now you can look at this. I mean, just liberties being taken by Marv.
XSET working their way through mid here. Some good weaponry as well. 3 rifles makes this bonus round extremely vicious.
They could do some serious damage. Has to hold down the angle, almost pays through with his life.
That box is thin.
And now the stun's letting them rip all the way through. Cryo with the late lurk. Down! That Hort actually tagged him. Bit of spam in play, but eventually traded. They need to clear out this corner angle though. To the back of the side as Secret Crashies could still do some massive work for them, but he has to respect the Prowler. Backing away, removes both of them and playing inside the fast lane, but no one wading into his line of sight.
Do they expect Marv to be this fast?
What?
Oh, what a shot through the box.
Right through the box, but just cannot claim the second one. It's a 2v3 now, and XSET, despite the fact that it is their bonus round, committing the ultimates with the Nightfall across. Yay, the last bastion of this one on the retake. And he just doesn't have the money to spend. A 1v3 is just not capable of doing it. He makes the percentage play. And XSET are going to be securing up their own bonus.
Every map has been a comeback. I know we took a long time out, and it might feel like eons ago that we were in Haven. But each one of these maps has been 8-4, 9-3 at the half, and then an astounding comeback from the other team. OpTic secured the first one, just missed the second. And now it's XSET on the other side of things. Making miracles happen there with pistol and bonus round in play. And it's the small things, Brent, that show me that both of these teams have watched tape of each other. Even as XSET get into the A side, they're spamming the common positions.
Yeah.
As they come in, FNS, when he's anchoring, is almost always going to be playing in that secret area. And Zekan's spamming it to try and rid anyone from playing in that spot.
Yeah.
So the deeper this goes, and the more the teams get hungry to advance to the upper finals, the more we're going to have to go into improvisational territory.
And it is just pure mind games. One on top of the other against the IGLs.
And look at Ye. Ye prodding into A main, the opposite side of the map.
He's got the rifle. It's a hero purchased by him. In fact, he saved it from the prior round. Marved, okay. Really deep angle to be pushing with here, but he does have the Bulldog ADS.
And Aaron's just hiding behind this pillar in a spot that is so difficult to clear out.
Yeah, really difficult. VCJ though, Prowler, now they know. And it latches, the connection onto Marv, he couldn't see a thing.
What a clearance.
Good utility. That's going to be forcing at least some rotations. I think the footsteps should have been heard there by Cryo.
Yeah, definitely. Cryo could try and take a timing to break the trademark on the other side of the door, but just feeding that information to the rest of the team. Now here's the issue. They're going to be funneled into Ye.
El Diablo, he's been able to get value before. Hero rifle, one angle, one shot typically is all it takes for him, but the reposition ever so slightly now, and it all comes down to this because XSET are contacting all the way, and it's a sidestep. A bait of it. BCJ is so fast to instantaneously punish. It's not over just yet though. Victor does make a tremendous attempt there. Kill into the opposition, and the players are ready and waiting, but they just fall and line up, one after the other, holding the necessary angles, and a spike plan at the end of it. XSET getting the extra pocket change to carry forward into that next round.
Clean round from XSET, and that got so dangerous. There was 30 seconds left as they go into Ye on the A site. And BCJ does an amazing job clearing out the dangerous players on both sides of the map. From that doesn't actually look that impressive from VCJ's point of view. From Ye, he had no chance to react.
It looks instantaneous.
Overall, great work of the map by XSET, and very diligent in terms of how they're clearing out these tough angles.
Are we going to see another clash? Knife over the top. Should be landing, I think, on the pillar. Yeah, it does. So XSET are now aware that there's no one holding close on there. Behind the pillar or in the cubby. And Yedo is watching the angle again. ADS with the rifle. He's a menace. One shot is what he's looking for, but it's just the discipline again by XSET. Fast lane sent across. Now the execute has to come through. Bit of raw spam. Marv is ready. He's holding down elbow. Wants to take the fight to them, but ends up losing and paying with his life. Dev's going to be dropped to his knees, obviously, with the no command in play, but not really in a resible position. They can't quite pick him up. So what is the play? A spike plan. Yay! Finds it. Heaven is open for him. What? Play has to be made. Yay! They just run straight into him.
I mean, how does Ye stay alive for that long on the site and still deliver so many kills? That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. And also, huge credit to Marv, who's anchoring in this position, knowing exactly that Zekken is going to push through there. Weaves his way through the stuns. And shuts down the entry player from XSET.
Enemy remaining. Did he even flash elbow there? What the fuck did he do?
And that actually a great point from Marv. They do need to flash elbow. They need to add extra utility in to help Zekken challenge those players in the back of B. I mean, Marv is literally anti-stratting himself live. All they need to do is listen.
Deeper Viper Wall, though. This is a difference that we're seeing now from OpTic.
And OpTic have gone for this play a couple of times now. One of the great things about this Viper Wall is that FNS can hide behind it if they have to fall back from this aggressive spot. And FNS is just trying to...
What's the contact for Victor?
It's FNS.
Off to the side.
FNS is just trying to drag it all out.
Yep, and an answer to play being made. Mows them down. Live in action. Gave a slight return once more. Let's see it. The third kill for him. Prime at Gaming, flawless.
What a beautiful defensive setup there from OpTic.
And a great read that XSET would just pivot and try and go into that A push.
Yeah, love this play. FNS is just drawing all of the utility towards himself like a sponge and providing the perfect moment for Victor to pop flash himself out.
Nice! Let's go!
And Chet is so happy because you can theory craft all the ideas you like on a map, but until you see them work in a high pressure match, you don't know whether they're going to actually gather results. And that is what's happening here. All of that hard work from OpTic is paying off on here, on Pearl.
Zekken
really wants, yeah, he really wants to pop his ult. But this is FNS hiding behind his wall again.
He's going to force out that own no command. Victor's going to be using that to push back the aggression. As soon as they hear the ultimate's coming through, it means that Zekken can't initiate for them. He doesn't have the overdrive for at least a couple of seconds.
But now this also means that they've waited out FNS's wall. So now he's just stuck in a one and done.
Yeah, honestly, this is...
Oh, good flash to keep them back and buy more time for the Viper to regen the fuel.
Not only that as well, Zekken just doesn't have any more fuel in the tank for his own overdrive. The ultimate's faded. That's what he was hoping for. They are getting so much value out of the KO. The Haunt lights up tremendous amounts of targets. Like I said, haven't really done any prior control of the rest of the map.
And there's no lurkers. You know, contrast it to one of the OpTic rounds, they would have tried to lurk somebody through at this point.
So they are pivoting right through mid, and Ye has just been locking down the angle every single time. There's a trade at work.
There.
Gonna be going down without a fight. Oh, the timing on the Prowler. And Cryo, caught none the wiser. Nightfall on top of it, but they have completely vacated. This time there's a pivot into Art. No trademark to stop them in their tracks. Maybe a late push from Zekken through main, but he's only got the shorty to his name as well as that. Here comes the util dump. Crashes could be everything with the timing behind them, and a fight is still being made. Flashes on flashes. Util once more barreling its way into the back of things, and it is pushing back the approach. How has Zekken got into this position, but still shut down? The XSET players just cannot withstand it.
So many layers of defense. That's one of the biggest strengths of this Zero Duelist comp, is that you just have utility for days. XSET tried to go for a very bog standard A main push, and there was no chance.
30 seconds.
Wave after wave of defensive utility held them back. And when the pivot came through, it's a combination of Ye and Crashies that shut it down.
Give me some. Give it a John. Give it a John.
And the momentum is there on the side of OpTic, trying to pave their way to claim the rightful place at minimum top 3. Their rightful place to rematch against Loud.
All roads seem to lead to OpTic and Loud.
No complaints from him. It doesn't ever happening, but XSET, I want to put up a fight. Want to try and avoid it. Cryo just about gets out.
And that's the danger of the Astra there.
So punishing.
The suck is so powerful at trying to deny that line. Or pop your own smoke to try and push up. Yeah, he still wants to play within his rendezvous here. And just dodges.
It's a brutal one.
But these are the kind of rounds where, if you know that Ye is here, you'd be expected to try and dodge him. But instead, it looks like XSET want to hammer their head into this tour de force and try and remove Ye by force.
The Prowler was destroyed as well. They're covering for Ye, making sure that he can hold the angle. Smoke onto the one side. Now a Prowler will try and make their way through. It does. Again, match onto a target. But what is the play here for XSET? I mean, forced up into this. It's a necessary round to win. And OpTic have got all the reads in the world. A 3-player setup to try and anchor this one and hold it back, and they're making so much noise. It's so obvious for XSET. But here comes the fast lane and the Nightfall. Makes his way across the site to try and take that elbow control. Someone needs to deal with this though. The Haunt, it lights up Death. Makes him an easy target again, and they line up for him. Holding close to the corner, an instantaneous trade nevertheless. Aaron still wants to make his mark on this round, and the Cosmic Divide will at least help them out for now.
Yeah, really good ult to make this one doable, but Aaron is losing health
No
at a
time.
rapid rate.
He's vulnerable! And the Pretenders play, you just have to save. They've got the angles, they're swarming them from every possible position, and OpTic gets a series point.
You heard from FNS the mutual respect across the aisle towards their North American rivals, but this has been an absolute masterclass today. The way that OpTic are moving things around, I mean, I don't think Marv intended to grab 2 there, but Marv moving his defensive anchor positions around the map as well to deal with how XSET are coming in. And it feels inexorable. It feels like in these big matches, OpTic have just got that extra little bit, the extra 1% to push them over the edge.
Might be a missed. You're absolutely right, Josh. All the experience that OpTic have gained, well versed in these situations, these scenarios. It comes down to this for XSET, a must-win round. 4 in a row to bring it to the OT, otherwise OpTic sailing themselves away for that Loud rematch, that minimum top 3.
And after XSET won the pistol in the bonus round, plus the following ecos, that they just haven't had anything in these rifle rounds. OpTic have always had the lead. This is a much quieter approach. Trying not to give away.
Trying to cut the noise, Ye goes down.
That's a huge one. Anytime you can drop Ye early.
Forcing a fight, the Haunt's gonna get broken there. Crashies looks like he still wants to fight, still wants to play.
But they're not worried about B at all.
Just backing away. It looks like they got the correct read on this because guess what, the Spike's leading that way, and a late lurk by Marv. He's all the way behind them. He's got them all the information in the world. Sees at the back of the site though, this is the danger zone. They do reward themselves, they get the kill. They spamming through the wall at the end of the day. It's down to Crashies and Marv. Can they do the heroics? Can they make the big play?
Marv has had such a monstrous map
All the
here.
space in the world! Contact through and a spray down. Crashies has found his target. A stick on the Spike, there needs to be a play, but it's being watched for. And Crashies, scot-free, gets away with it. OpTic